Hello and welcome to the Claret Blue podcast, sponsored by Saley. All the information you need to find out more about Saley is in the description down below. I'm your host, Dan Rolinson, joined by John Townley from Nashville, is it? Are you back there?
Yeah, I am in Nashville, yeah. I had a little chat with Yuri Tielemans earlier today.
Oh,
and of course, I started it with, here in Louisville. No. And he stops me straight away. And we had a joke about it at least. And at least he saw the funny side, yeah. Just, amateur, I mean, I'm not a broadcast journalist anyway, but yeah, I'm in Nashville. Really nice to catch up with Villa's player of the season, last season no less. So we don't know exactly when it will be live, but it should be live the afternoon on Tuesday. Today, if you're watching on Tuesday, I believe there's a way of putting notifications on people you follow on social media. So do that if you haven't already, and if you would like to. If you don't want to, that's fine. And I believe there's also a written piece that would have gone up this morning on Tuesday again. If you want to read it, if you want to watch it, then yeah, that will be on there later today.
I struggle to keep up with the fact of time zones and where you are, 3-hour buses, 25-minute walks to the wrong hotel and whatnot. Very funny. When I know you're okay. I woke up to a series of voice notes, and the first one was at like midnight UK time, but I missed it.
Is that this morning?
I don't know. It's like, I can't get my hotel. I've got they've got no list of me. I don't know what to do. And I was like, then the next voice note was like 3 a.m. Like, I'm sorted now. So for me, I could just listen to that in one go. And I was like, he was all right in the end. But at the time, not ideal. Every time you message me as well, obviously, you know this, for those listening, John will be like, so it's 10 a.m. in my time, so that'll be 5 o'clock in the UK? Whoa, what the hell? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. No, I still haven't got used to that.
We're here today, anyway, to talk about Aston Villa. This is our weekly Q&A episode from Kidderminster and Nashville. One of those a little bit more exciting than the other. I've not gone through the questions. They're all from the mailbag. Normally when we do this, I'll get a list of them and we know what we're going to talk about before we do it. Since we started the mailbag a couple of, maybe a month or so ago, 6 weeks ago, there's been 210 responses to it. Now, some of those are of the time. We're talking about Pau Torres tomorrow, and they're all about that. Some of them are just random questions that are still relevant. So I'm just going to scroll through it pretty much at random and stop when I see something interesting to discuss.
Sorry, Isak. It is so hot here.
Is it?
It is so hot. Yeah, it just like.
Are you sat outside, by the way, or is that just like a window behind you?
No, this is outside. No, I'm outside. So it's like a little terrace place that I found that I can go to. Some things in the background there. I wasn't showing you the sun lounges, by the way, which I don't use. I am here to work, just to clarify before people say that, blah, blah. The only thing that I can touch that isn't boiling hot is this water, which came out of a fridge 10 minutes ago and is already leaking everywhere. Also, I have a list of like 4 things to ask American people. Can I do that now or later?
Should we do that later?
Do it later, because people...
Maybe there's... Yeah, maybe there's so few American audience actually listen to this part, then for 90% of our audience, what's this about? So we'll do that at the end. First question. And I'm going to have a guess at this one from James. How tall is John? He looks shorter than I imagined in the vlog, which is quite funny because are you trying to make yourself look taller now? No. We often joke about little John Townley and all that. You're not that much smaller than me. I'd say you're about 5'7".
I think I'm... You know what? Yeah, just call it 5'7". I was going to say, I actually think I'm 5'8", but it doesn't even matter. So, yeah, but I'm somewhere around there. I have no reason to check,
football heaven.
Check my height. Yeah, exactly. 5'7", 5'8", something like that. I'm not that small.
Next one is from No Name, who says, do you have any thoughts on Emi Martinez not playing? Is there anything in it?
No, not for me. You can't beat around the bush. There's obviously lots of transfer speculation surrounding Emi. The fact he didn't play only kind of adds fire to that. Adds fuel to the fire, sorry. You don't add fire to a fuel, do you? But no, don't get me wrong, if he doesn't play against St. Louis, then that's a bit odd, not playing in 2 of the opening games. There are a lot of friendlies for Villa to play, of course. We have another 5 remaining, I think. Yeah, another 5 to come still. So, yeah, plenty of time for Emi to get ready for the new season. If he stays with Villa, of course, he won't be starting on the opening day anyway. That'll be Bizot. So, yeah, and quickly on Bizot, by the way, been very impressed. Yeah, and that was the one thing where people who I spoke to who watched Stad Brest and podcast on them and whatnot, that would be the kind of one thing, or the one area that maybe he wasn't too comfortable at in doing. But I mean, how can you really tell when Stad Brest don't build up like we would anyway? I don't think it's a team who play out from the back necessarily. So yeah, like I've been pleasantly surprised by what I've seen of him so far. He looks very assured. Only been a couple of pre-season games, but I'm already kind of declaring that I'm pretty sure it's a upgrade on Robin Olsen.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
You know, you can go throughout the team and just player leaves, player comes in. Is it an upgrade? For me, yes, it probably will be. So fine.
Do you reckon he's potentially number one ready? I'm not saying he's gonna be, but could he be?
Yeah, I don't think we could possibly make that decision yet. So, but I know, but that's exactly the conversation you want to be having about your number two, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it's so cut and dry that he's back up. Okay, well he's not good enough then to start, is he? But if we're talking about Bizot potentially being able to deputise and come in and be that number one, then that's exactly what you want throughout your team.
Yeah. Just a question from my brain, which this could be one of the stupid ones. When you say there about, you know, it's hard to know if he's good with his feet because breasts don't play out in that way. You might not know the answer to this, but from a scouting perspective, they'll have obviously much more data than the average man or woman would have.
Yeah. How do you work out?
How do you work out, he's going to be a good fit for Villa if they're playing in a different style of play than we are?
Yeah, well, it'll be much more detailed than me watching some clips of Stad Brest and looking at...
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, the only thing I would say is that his passing accuracy was actually very, very high last season. And bizarrely, I think in Ligue 1, he was the most... Was it progressive? And he's obviously a goalkeeper. You don't tend to pass it backwards. But you don't see it very often, though. I think he was the most progressive passer in Ligue 1 last season, I think. Or he was up there. So that's interesting. Like, you know, it's always nice to have a goalkeeper passing it forward rather than anywhere else. But yeah, I presume that means more maybe like clipped balls and things like that. I'm not too sure. But yeah, there's certainly some metrics that they would have seen, and they would have done a lot of their research already to identify that, he's more than capable of doing that. On the opening day, if he does play, he might make a mistake. We're not saying he's like, oh my God, this guy is incredible with his feet. It's not that. It's just that I don't think it's a big weakness, which for Olsen it certainly was.
Podcasty related question from me, but not a question, but something I want to discuss, clarify maybe.
Open the mailbag, Dan. Come on.
I have been. How tall are you? In this episode, there is a squeaking in the background of John's mic. I'll try and mute things if and when I can, but that's drilling. Did you say somebody drilling over there?
I'm in like
construction.
I'm pretty much like downtown Nashville, so there's a lot going on. Around me.
Interweaving with that, some comments on the episodes that we put out over the weekend. We did a walk and talk and a vlog. And the vlog is meant to be kind of the higher production, kind of flashy, I'm going here, I'm doing this, kind of take me with you. The walk and talk has always been, don't say bonus content because that's the wrong way of phrasing it, but like, I'm going to do this anyway because I'm uploading it to social media. So
it supplements your post-match.
Yeah, we did a post-match on the Saturday and then the walk and talk will come after. For this, the walk and talk after the Frankfurt game came out first, like 7:30 a.m. UK time, Sunday morning. Got a lot of good views. People really enjoyed it for the most part, but there were a few criticisms of, John walks too quickly, which is quite funny, and it's noisy. Like, could you not go somewhere a little bit quieter? One, you said to me afterwards that the US just is loud everywhere, but do you want to just say like like you were in a rush to get home?
Well, that's it. Yeah, the post match is always just hearing my thoughts, mainly because I need to talk about it. You can listen if you want. I don't mean that in a bad way, by the way. But of course, I'm in a rush because after a match, 11 p.m, sometimes later, I need to get back to do work. I finish work at like 2 or 3, and obviously I'd rather finish earlier than later because I need to sleep. So yeah, I don't know, half an hour walk back here. I don't really want to stroll it, so that's why I can be in a rush sometimes. And also the noise, again. But put it this way, like, I would rather watch someone going out and about and maybe seeing different things like the fireworks or whatnot than kind of stand still and have like a boring background. But that's just me. Like, I'm trying to give a bit of a flavour of where I am. If that's kind of not to your taste, I'll try and balance it out a little bit, walk slower and maybe be a bit more like composed. But it's literally right, going back to the hotel, camera out, and I've said my bit.
There's pros and cons to that, and it's I was kind of clarifying that rather than replying to a couple of YouTube comments. Now everybody knows.
Yeah. Which is fine,
Yeah. Like we said with other stuff before, you either watch it or you don't. If you don't like it, fine. If you do like it, also fine. There's plenty of other stuff as well. If you click on this and think, that drilling in the background is too annoying for my ears, fine. Like, nothing we can do really. It's just filming on location. Next up from the mailbag, John is in for a very disappointing season. If he thinks not winning the Europa League would be a failure. Ooh, I've seen a few of these kind of things in the comments of the previous video that we did. That it was kind of adding a lot of expectation that anything less than that would be kind of a failed season. But that's a very real possibility, so kind of prepare yourself for that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I stand by that. I'll stand by it throughout the whole season. Win the Europa League. If you don't, it's failure. I don't see a time and a place where you think we've lost to Roma in the semi-final, we've lost to Porto in a quarter-final, Like, yeah, that's failure. You should beat those teams. Not saying that we are better than them, but we. Well, no, I don't know. I'm going to stand on ground here. Yeah, we are. I think we are a better team than them. It's just an opinion. Like, I think that we're better than those teams. We have Villa Park, which is an absolute fortress for us. We have a huge advantage in that alone. If you finish well in the Europa League, you get that home leg second. We finished in the last 8 of the Champions League, but then we're not going to say that it would be failure to not win the Europa League. For me, like, it's not me underestimating Stuttgart or Celta Vigo. But if you're telling me that they're not looking at Villa as they're the team to watch out for, and they're probably the favourites, it would be the same case in the Conference League. Only the difference now is that we've had those experiences. We're not the newcomers anymore. Yeah. This is our 3rd campaign in Europe, something that not many teams do outside the commercial 6. So we have all the tools to win it. We have Unai Emery. Like, I'm not going to. Well, I kind of have just gone into it there, but this is why for me it would be fair. If you're telling me you wouldn't be disappointed if we didn't win the Europa League, I'm not going to call you a liar, but I think you probably would be. Yeah, I don't think being knocked out of the Champions League was disappointing, but in a way of like, we put a great fight and finishing the last 8 is a great achievement, which it really was. To go that far. Yeah. Teams do that in their first Champions League campaign after X amount of years. Now we've got all of that on our back, and we're going into the Europa League with the aim of winning it. If you don't win it, then what are we here for? I feel like our mentality has to change. Chelsea go into the Club World Cup, and even the Champions League next season, their aim will be to win it. No one's going to say, Chelsea are going to win the Champions League, are they? No one will. But you're telling me that their fans and the players there won't see that as like tunnel vision. That's their aim. It's because they win things. Villa don't win things, and they haven't for such a long time. Be like bold about it. We've hit the point where you have to win. How long is it going to be? Are we going to wait another 2 years? How long are the players going to wait around? How long is Emery going to wait around? We're not here just to qualify for Europe every year. We've had great experiences the last 2 or 3 years following and had great nights and all those different things. But at some point, you have to just win. And that, for me, this is the opportunity to do that now.
Yeah, I think I don't know going into this tournament, because I've not looked at the moment, who I would also consider to be, one of the favourites or somebody that's going to cause us trouble. But whoever that is, and whether it goes on to be them or not, or somebody in the group, the league phase is actually better than you think, and they're actually a contender for this.
Which can happen, yeah.
Whoever that is, if Villa draw them, I'd be going, but we still got to need to beat them, and we're still better than them, whoever it is. In the Champions League, you come against PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern, whoever, you go, they're better than us on the whole. We're going to struggle. I'll go into that Europa League, and certainly the Conference League, if we end up in that again, going, we're the biggest fish in this pond, and we have to go and eat the other fish.
Yeah, and act like it now. Like we are a big club. We have great players. We pay big wages. We have a great manager. You're putting those things together and saying that we can't beat Roma. Like, no disrespect to Roma, they're a big club. What do you mean? Like, just
like negative and defeatist, and not we don't talk ourselves up as a region, maybe, or even as just British, maybe. Not
possibly, but how many Brums have we got?
People will go, you're cocky, John. You're arrogant. Whereas an American out there probably go, yeah, of course we can win it.
Yeah, but I don't want arrogance to kind of overlap with, like, this is kind of my point though. Why? All right, I'll flip it around. Why can't we win the Europa League next season? What would be stopping us apart from other teams? But if we play our best football, do you know what I mean?
That's the part for me. We don't always play our best football.
But we have the tools. Again, we have the manager, we have the players, we have the experiences now. Everything is there and set up to win the Europa League. If you don't beat Celta Vigo, if you don't beat Bologna, if you don't beat Rome, if you don't beat Porto, if you don't beat Real Betis, if you don't beat Stuttgart, you're telling me that we're not better, or we can't be better than them, having a home leg or first or second at Villa Park. Like, okay, well, when are we going to win? You have to get over that now. There's a reason why Man United still win trophies. There's a reason why Chelsea still win trophies, even though they haven't had the best years, especially Man United. But you're even seeing now Newcastle winning trophies, Tottenham winning trophies. It's pretty much Villa, Forest, Leeds and Everton who are now kind of, this is too long, especially for us because we're there now. Everton are trying to get back up to something. Forest, the same. Leeds, the same, but lower. But we're the ones being left behind in terms of the trophy drought. If you win, it breeds winning for me. So we need to get over that and just not expect to win, but have the mentality and attitude of we want to show that we're the best team here. We don't want to show that we can compete. No, we want to show we're the best team. I think it's a big difference.
Right. I really like this from Kieran. Hi, Dan. Love the podcast. Keep it coming. Will do. That was me, not Kieran. I was thinking about our window so far and started musing over this idea. that we are possibly holding off, letting the Sky Six spend out and bloat their squads, playing ridiculous prices. Then as the window develops, targeting some really good players for reasonable or low prices as squads need to be trimmed and players offloaded. Seems to me quite a good tactic if true. Do you guys think Villa might just be biding their time and playing the long game? After all, very few Emery signings are intended to hit the ground running, so maybe pre-season isn't as crucial for them as they'll be bedded in over time anyway. Now, I'm not suggesting or saying that, Villa are holding off on their business till late on purpose. If deals are to be done that Unai Emery wants on July 1st and Villa can financially do that, they would do it. If Villa financially can't do stuff, that's a different talking point. However, just kind of that thing of being opportunistic, I do think there's something in there. And this is a crap example because he's not going to come because he now plays for Barcelona. But Rashford, if Man United sign a left-sided forward or a striker and that deems Rashford surplus to requirements on August the 20th, season already started, deadline's next week, all of a sudden that player is now available. I wouldn't be surprised if Villa were kind of teetering on the edge of that market of a Rashford example, loan late in the window, or they've just signed a centre-back, so now they have to get rid of the other one. They probably would have wanted 40 million in July, whereas they're probably only going to get 25 now because they know they need to get rid of him. And that's a market that Villa can operate that's different than it is as of today.
Yeah, and if you kind of work with the Man United example, if you look at someone like Garnacho, if a team signed Garnacho in June, you'd probably be looking at a huge fee. As the weeks and months go on, that's coming down all the time because United want to sell him. The point being, you could probably save X amount of millions just on that. And so we'll see where Villa go in the window. They will bring in players. I just think the main thing is that they don't have the room on their wages. They haven't found a buyer for some players. All those things, which ideally would have happened by now. Like I watched training today, and I'm looking and thinking, like, what are we missing here? It's depth, right? But there's so much quality in that team still. Like we haven't lost anyone. Like it's so easy to look at it and think, oh my God, we haven't added to a squad that finished. And again, granted, essentially, but park that. 'Cause I'm sure we're going to bring in depth. But in terms of like a starting 11 for the first 3 games of the season and plus the bench, nothing's really changed. We can definitely have a strong half of the season, I think, with what we have plus a bit more. I do think we can manage that. It's just not ideal, but that's not Villa's fault that it's not ideal. What would you rather us do? Again, sell £100 million worth of players and bring in that amount of players? Well, that looks like losing Ollie Watkins, who's 15 goals guaranteed pretty much, or Morgan Rogers or Konsa, or so that's why I think a lot of fans are going to scream, or will be screaming now and saying, like, John, you're wrong. That's fine as an opinion. I just think the squad as it is right now is still strong. It just needs a bit more. It doesn't need big surgery. Maybe next summer, like if we don't bring many players in this summer, maybe next summer, that's when you look to kind of, okay, these guys need to go, you make surgery then. But for now, I don't think we're in that position.
I agree. But something I've seen quite a lot, and then the next comment, again, there's no name. Is it possible that Villa don't sign anybody this window? I really don't see that. I know. No,
I'd definitely expect players to come in.
I mean, we did the same kind of thing last year. Remember after we signed Onana, and that was early-ish or mid-July, and it was like, well, plenty of time to get others through the door, and he ended up being the last signing. So surely we need something else.
This is similar to kind of the case now. So they wanted Geertruida, didn't they? After we made the video on him, and we obviously were trying to get rid of Carlos. That didn't work out. So that's kind of where we are now. Like, you need room in your budget. You need room on your wages. That deal didn't happen because they couldn't shift Carlos. So it's similar now. They need, an opportunity to open or loosen the purse string, shall I say.
Yeah. But I would be surprised, as of 28th of July, Villa don't sign anybody until September 1st.
We've only added one player to the squad, which is a backup goalkeeper. Obviously, Zeppi Redmond's coming as well, but I don't expect him to be in the first team picture next season.
No, there's a few people asked about him with the US tour. Is he not involved at all?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in training, so I presume he's back at base. I don't know if there's an injury or anything yet. I can ask the question, though.
From Alex, a new American villain. Pre-season tours are doing their job. John, what's been your favourite thing about Nashville so far?
Ooh, nice question. The first couple of days in Nashville, I didn't get up to a whole lot because I was just settling in and I was quite a way out. I'm a bit more central now, and I've only been here for literally one night, and now, because I've been out all of today. So to be perfectly honest, I haven't actually seen much of Nashville, but it looks like a nice city. I'm going to try and explore it more when Villa play Nashville after St. Louis, because there's what do I have then? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and yeah, so like 3 solid days to kind of look around. And there'll be a vlog about Nashville as well, which will be nice to do. So to be perfectly honest, Alex, I haven't seen too much. I saw a bit more of Louisville, obviously, and definitely the highlight with that was meeting fans of Claret Blue, the work that we do on Birmingham Live, all that sort of stuff. So I think I said in that vlog, like, that's easily the best part of my job, like talking to Emery and the players and having the access and all that stuff. Like, yeah, like that's nice. I wouldn't say it fades, but like at the start, it's like, oh my God. And then you realise they're just people and crack on with what you do. But the best part is definitely just meeting different people who appreciate what you do, because ultimately that's the reason why we do it.
What's the food situation? Have you been eating well?
All right. What do you want to know?
Have you tried anything local, or are you kind of supermarket shopping, or?
I mean, yeah, I can get away with this. So Kentucky, right? So I had loads of chicken. Yeah. Oh, what did they give me in this chicken shop? So I went to a chicken shop, which is by the Greyhound bus, which, by the way, apparently the Greyhound bus has a terrible rate. You know about it?
No, I was reading your story about it.
Yeah. So
I went into about the dog that stole your seat.
Yeah, I went into the Louisville like meetup, and there was a really nice couple. I forget the names, which just killed me. And they were saying like, "Wait, you went on the Greyhound and you're going back on the Greyhound?" And I was like, "Yeah, was I not supposed to make it?" It's an experience. Put it that way. There was nearly a fight on the first bus that I got out here, and the driver had to pull over and shout at them, threaten to kick them off.
Really?
We was already in loads of traffic, and then coming back, it's like, oh, you're seat 7D, so go to 7D, and there's just it wasn't a Rottweiler, but it was a fierce-looking dog. I'm not even going to tell him to move. Not the dog, by the way, the owner of the dog. I don't want to sit next to, not the dog, I like dogs, but didn't feel it for 3.5 hours. And I had my chicken and a biscuit. A biscuit is like a scone, I think, and then deep fry it. I took one bite, and to be honest, it just tasted like oil. So no more of that. But yeah, mainly just chicken that I've been eating. I did go to the shop earlier because there's a nice part of Nashville I'm in, and they have like loads of fresh fruit and stuff. And I just brought loads of fruit because I haven't been eating that healthily for a few days.
This next one says, do you think the business the top four has done so far makes it impossible for Villa to compete? Even if they were able to spend a normal amount to improve the squad, we'd probably have to move on a very decent player, while they are able to sell players they don't want anymore and upgrade on them. We're being left behind. You know, a lot of the other clubs are doing a lot of business and we're not. If you don't make any business, you don't just stand still, you go backwards because the other teams progress past you, which on paper is kind of true. There's no guarantee with any signing anyone's definitely going to be better. You know, Liverpool have just spent a lot of money on Wirtz and whoever else, and it's like, well, what if he's rubbish? You know, like, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying they're going to be, but the theory is there. I don't think it makes it impossible to compete, because you saw what Villa did and Emery did in their first season of kind of punching above their weight with a squad that probably wasn't as good as many others, and the same can kind of happen again. I think we are at a limit that some players probably are at their maximum now and probably aren't going to improve by much, but I don't think it would say it's going to be impossible for us to compete. What I would say is Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Arsenal probably, if they are the top four, I wouldn't be completely surprised if they were the top four like by a distance.
I always think it's very easy to get really like not carried away with it, but just because the team spends money does not mean that they're going to be that much better anyway. Chelsea, for example, last season, they finished just ahead of us, having spent loads of money the season before, and the season before that we had Champions League. They basically didn't have Europe, really, considering they're playing the second team, and we finished just behind them. So I don't think they are light years ahead. They're signing a lot of youngsters who were worth a lot of money, but are they worth that amount of money in a football match tomorrow? Do you know what I mean? Is Jamie Gittins a £50 million player? I'm not sure. Like, we'll find out. Maybe he will be in 6 months. But they spend loads of money. It's almost like investments, right? So that's one. Secondly, Liverpool, Arsenal, and City, I think, are like permanently ahead of us anyway. We can only catch them if our revenues increase, loads, or if they have a serious drop off, like Arsenal previously did.
And that City almost did.
After Wenger. Yeah, I can't see City having a worse season than that again, really, under Guardiola. I don't look at it and think like, oh my God, how are we going to compete?
I think Newcastle's the fairest comparison. To us specifically,
Newcastle is us and Newcastle. That is it, and that's what was so frustrating on the final day, to lose out, because it's kind of double jeopardy almost. Like, they got it and we didn't, and we're their rival essentially.
They've been linked with Aaron Ramsdale now for a backup goalkeeper, who I wouldn't want to be Villa's backup
He
goalkeeper.
might even be the starting keeper. I don't know, but he's not very. I don't think he's very good.
They might sell Isak. You know, they bought in Elanga, who I think he's a decent signing, but there's no kind of quick fix, magic wand, whatever you want to call it. They have got in the Champions League and have won a trophy, and they're being linked with Calvert Lewin on a free. Like, this isn't kind of some golden ticket to you can now go and do what you want, guys. Even they're struggling as well.
We did a video. I recorded a video. I can't remember when it was, but I remember just kind of coming to the conclusion of like, almost forget everything. Villa have to increase their revenue. Like, it's that simple. Under Emery, we will be competitive. We will be in the top 6 next season. I do genuinely believe that. We will be going far in the Europa League. We'll be always competing in Europe. And I struggle to see a season where we're not in Europe, because I think that would be like, I couldn't comprehend that almost, which sounds mental. But under Emery, I think that's how good we are and how competitive we are. But the difference is you have to have revenue to be able to spend money and to do all these things. That is the golden ticket to, as you say earlier, to getting into those positions. So, like, looking at what those clubs are spending, I don't really like. Yeah, did you not expect that? Like, they have huge revenues. We don't have Champions League, so I don't think anyone expects us spending money this season. But what I would say is that, okay, we haven't lost anyone though. Do you know what I mean? Like, are they that much better than what we are now? Probably, like, maybe, but over the course of a campaign, it's not winning the transfer market, is it? So
no.
I don't really feel anything to it, to be perfectly honest.
How often do you see teams as well that labelled to have won the window?
West Ham.
Is it West Ham?
West Ham. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't really mean anything.
A lot of Villa fans would have said, "Oh, why haven't we sold Wan-Bissaka? Why haven't we signed Wan-Bissaka? Why haven't we signed Todibo? Why haven't we signed whoever else they signed? They signed quite a few players, didn't they? And then they finished 16th. So yeah." The season is never defined by a window. I genuinely believe that. I get the kind of point about, those teams can now spend loads and we can't. That's more of that's just our problem. Forget what they're doing. They'll spend money, continue to spend money, whatever you do you. Our issue is that we have to increase revenue. And it's an issue that we shouldn't have because it's unfair. But that's the hand that we're dealt. So get on with it. That's essentially what we've got to think about. Yeah.
Now, would you rather Villa go out tomorrow and spend 50, 60 million on Embremo to replace Bailey? I mean, yes, that sounds quite good, doesn't it? But maybe Embremo doesn't fit somewhere that isn't Brentford, potentially.
Yeah.
But also, if part of that plan is, okay, well, now you have to sell Leon Bailey. There's no suitors for him. How does that work? Are we now in massive PSR/SCR trouble because we kind of jumped the gun? Like, you've got to be responsible with your business as well. And people that are kind of like, you need to do transfers and we get left behind, I think we'll see our argument as, yeah, but you're kind of like defending the club or you don't have ambition or whatever. But you have got to be careful. Because what's the alternative? You get yourselves in trouble to points deduction levels. So it's not feasible.
We can't spend the money that we want to spend. Like, it's that simple. Us saying, "Oh, why aren't we spending 60 million? Why aren't we spending 70 million?" It would just be disingenuous because we know why.
We know why.
Like, there's rules, and it nearly bit us in the arse. Like, 2 years ago when last summer, when Louise went, we were literally hours away from probably a double digits points deduction, which would have meant no Europe this season. I don't really feel too much towards it because it's just. That is just what you got to deal with. What I have anger to is the rules and the fact that it's a closed shop, or supposed to be a closed shop. It's pretty remarkable that we're able to consistently compete in Europe as well. Yes, we've spent money, but also we just don't have the resources still of those other teams. But it's okay. I just feel like with Villa, almost every season under Emery, if you told me that in April we're in the top 6 or top 7 and you're give or take a few points away from 5th or 4th, 6 points, whatever it may be, I'd take that every single year. Really would. Every single year, because what you've got then is just a shot at it. And we had a shot at it, didn't we, last season? Do you remember when it was like meltdown? Are we going to finish in the top half? Are we going to finish in Europe? And then we had that January window, and even then things didn't work out straight away. But then eventually we got a groove, we found our rhythm, and we really should have got back in the Champions League, which would have been an incredible achievement to do it twice in a row. So that's how close we were. So that's why I'm not kind of throwing my toys out the pram sort of thing and being like, oh, why aren't we now spending money and why aren't all these different things. So I think just kind of being a bit level-headed with it. We want to spend money, we can't. So who do we blame? The rules? Are they going to change?
No, you got to blame Monchi, mate. Monchi, he don't know what he's doing.
He was on his phone earlier.
Was he? Good. That's a joke, by the way. Obviously, I know he's doing his job. Your season, or our season in the year just gone, was effectively saved by the January window. And probably from kind of late February onwards, let's say.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
saved in early February, yeah.
Yeah, like we didn't do what we needed to do come September 1st, and we lost the first 2 games out of the 5. Does that mean we can't like finish in the top 4 then? Like we can't win the Europa League. Like it's a slow burn, isn't it? It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
If we're in a decent enough position come January and we have got a bit of wiggle room financially, or there's a loan opportunity comes up, your season kind of starts from there.
Yeah,
like in some ways, it's about ending strong as well.
Yeah, just kind of wrapping like this bit up. I just trust Emery that every season we will be
it's
at
quite
least
boring, isn't it? But
at least knocking the door of Europe. And again, like we could be saying, "Oh, let's spend this, let's buy this player, let's buy that." But why would we say it if it's not going to happen?
Yeah, you're coming to the wrong podcast if you want us to be moaning about, why didn't we go and buy X? Why didn't we put a big bid in for Gibbs White, etc.? So we can't. There's no point in us talking about it.
And if you do, you either get points deduction or you sell your players for half the price because people know that you're desperate.
Next question. This is going too far the other end of the scale for me from Pete. It says, I'll probably get slaughtered for this, but I'm going to put it out there. For a free, cheap backup striker, I'd sign No, I'm joking. I'd sign, as bad for me, Dominic Calvert Lewin. Hear me out. We've seen that Unai can perform miracles with strikers, especially those that have lost their way a little. Well, this is long. I've just expanded it. There's 7 points. I can't do all 7. Sorry, Pete. It'd be a free transfer and would help with PSR, SCR, low wage, etc.
I was just going to say, I don't know if his wages would be low, but...
No, we'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah, go on.
Ollie will play the majority of games, so you need someone who's patient and accepting to be the backup. It's basically the point of Pete's huge paragraph that we don't have time to go through. This isn't Patrick Bamford level for me because that is worse, but I don't want Calvert Lewin. A, I'm not sure he's good enough. B, his injury record is... You all right there, John? You got a mosquito on you or something?
No, emergency. I've just realised my arms have gone red as hell.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Carry on.
Calvert Lewin, I don't like him. I don't rate him. I don't think he's good enough. His injury record is horrific. Nah, he had a half-decent season the one year, 5 years ago or something. I can't even remember what it was. I used the flavour of the month, but... I
don't know. I think it's one of those where, do we desperately need a backup to Riley Watkins that we don't already have? Because for me, Malen backing up Watkins is... I'm happy to do that until January if needs be. But if you said, you can add Calvert Lewin as well on a pay-as-you-go phone plan.
That don't exist.
Pay-as-you-go deal. Or for a wage that we could afford, I'd be interested. Put it that way.
Would you?
I would, yeah. I really like his profile. I don't know why. I'm not on his Instagram, which is wear some natty clothes, right? But just like at Villa Park when we went 2-0 down, he was a handful there. Yeah, but
again, you shouldn't just compare about the games that you play against them. But I can't forget that time we went one-on-one and Martinez ran with his back away from him. Remember that?
Of course, yeah.
Martinez didn't even look at him to run back to goal, and he scuffed it anyway.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the last game. It was that 2, I think. I remember at Goodison, I'm pretty sure it was Calvert Lewin. A chance falls in the box, ball bounces, and he skies it. I don't want Calvert Lewin. I don't think he's good enough. No, I'm joking.
I don't think he is.
I don't know. Again, I like the idea of a player coming in. Like I had this feeling with like Felix 2 seasons ago, or even last summer. Like I'd like to see what happens, though. Do you know what I mean? So if it was a cheap thing that Villa could just do, and there was really no risk involved,
yeah, that's a bit different.
Why not? Kind of thing. Like why not? Like it's either that or nothing. So like if you said to me, Villa going to bring in a striker, it has to be Calvert Lewin, and it's going to be a cheap deal. Yes or no? There's no alternative. Yeah, all right then. Like, do you know what I mean? If it was instead of buying a centre back, instead of, you know, totally I know it's a free agent, but wages I do think could be a lot. I think he might be asking a lot because it's free. He's a free agent. And
he'll probably want 70, 80, 90 grand a week, probably.
No idea, but yeah, like something that's more than what I think most people would want to pay Calvert Lewin. But yeah, again, Villa would only do that if they could.
This is about Malen and Bailey from Damien in Dublin. You might cross paths, John, when you were out there for a few hours the other day. Everybody's saying we should sell Bailey and replace him with a number of unproven right wingers. But I think we should back him and let him and Malen fight it out for the shirt. He didn't have a good season last year, but the season before that, he was unbelievable. So we know he can do it. Why take the risk on an unknown, probably costing 40-odd million, when we know there's a player in there that can have us on the edge of our seats? Which, again, there's an element of truth in that, and I don't mind it. If there was something that you could click your fingers and know that Bailey was going to be somewhere to be in the player he was, fine. Let him and Marlon battle it out, and maybe we'll get the best out of both of them. But for a player that we probably know we can shift on and might help us with our wages and all those kind of things, whether Marlon is the first choice right winger or not, I think Bailey will go. But again, we're getting to the start of August now and he's still here. And at some point, there has to be a cut-off of, okay, are we going to keep him around or not? If the interest isn't there, then what are you to do?
Yeah, I would like someone new because you know,
it's just got a bit stale after last year.
I say that more so because we need to replace Rashford and Asensio first. That's kind of what my thinking is with it. If we had Bailey and Malen as right wing options next season, okay, but as long as we have something more than on the left as well or down the middle, like we need to add more to that supporting act, don't we? Whether that's a right winger or a left winger. I said before, Bailey's season 2 years ago was probably one of the best, or definitely was one of the best individual seasons I've seen from a Villa player, like in 25 years of my life. So like, I really like his profile, absolutely love it. And I think it's a very specific thing that we don't have otherwise than Bailey's. That's why I always usually had him in my team because of the structure. But if you're asking me, you know, put it this way, if like Zagrova from Lille, who's similar in profile, if he was available for a decent fee, which I think he might be because he had an injury and Lille want to sell, maybe you do that and sell Bailey. And then that's kind of how you work around and you bring in money, but then amortize play like Zagrova. So yeah, like there's a lot to think about really with it. But yeah, it wouldn't be the end of the world, put it that way. I just think it's definitely an area of the pitch where we could improve, though.
A couple more then from Hans, who says, pre-season games and performances are always hard to gauge. The team is playing against different caliber teams with different approaches to what we'll see during the regular season. Who are the players in the past who have looked amazing in pre-season and then had a real disappointment during the regular campaign? And alternatively, the reverse, the players who have looked disappointed in pre-season and then exceeded expectations. Now, I don't pay loads of attention to pre-season, as I've said before. Is there anyone that jumps out as having a great time and then a poor season, or vice versa?
Good pre-season to poor start of this, or poor in general. If memory serves, Jota on the right wing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good shout.
Yeah.
He looked good, didn't he, for a spell?
I think if you were building a team like the ultimate Villa pre-season 11, two-face Walsall, have Jota on the right. It was exceptional, wasn't he, in that game? Which, yeah, Jesus, and who cares? I would say him. Like his highlight for Villa was assisting Wesley, right? And even then, you thought like, oh, he's got a part to play. He can be like Carlos Gil or Hill, but maybe better, and he wasn't. So shame it didn't work out for him. But is that like one of the only players we've signed from Blues like in the past? I don't know how many years, but it's got to be, right?
The only other one I could think of, and this is a cop out because he got injured, was Buendia having a good pre-season in America, and then obviously didn't have a good season. He got
that's
injured,
a real shame. Yeah,
like almost the other way of what could have been rather than what actually happened.
Yeah, and then the alternative one, I guess, even more would be like who from the first minute that they played thought, oh wow, he's good. For me, that was definitely Kamara. Like wow, I don't know if you remember those games that he was playing, but I mean, watching him against Leeds United, and he was just spraying balls around, thinking like, "Jeez, what have we got here? Like, this is a serious player." And then we started doing the Premier League.
Gerrard.
Yeah. And when he actually started playing, it was like it's been backed up. Like this is a serious midfielder. So
yeah. Final question from Simon in Chester: Ollie Watkins to Newcastle as Isak's replacement. Surely we wouldn't consider selling to a direct competition at any price.
How many strikers are on the market? I mean, not on the market. So how many strikers are genuinely about that are worth their salt? Like
it's a difficult market, and what they did with losing out on Ekitike to Liverpool by hoping that that means they keep Isak has potentially massively backfired. But
I said it at the time. Didn't look like an expert, but they should have sold Isak. Should have sold him and then brought in Ekitike as the prime target. And even if even now they haven't, still sell him, rebuild your team, add depth. But anyway, there's not a massive market, I don't think, for strikers, and that's why Villa, if they were to sell theirs, again, we can't go over it again. It's every podcast, but it's a risk, a massive risk to do that. The message is that he's not for sale, not going to entertain at Villa. Like the question there, for any money, well, yeah, of course, for some amount of money they would, but
sell Isak for 150 and spend 120 on Watkins. Yeah, sound. We'll take that.
Yeah, great deal. Like, yeah, but like, mate, even then I look at it and think like, well, who would you bring in though? Like, not and I kind of joke, but seriously, what striker? Would you then go after Sesko? I suppose. Like, how many strikers are actually like? If you said now, Villa have got £100 million to spend on a striker. Okay, let's go through it. Maybe Sesko, but he'll want Champions League. Samu, but he's not a £100 million player. Where do you go next? That would come to Villa. That's kind of my point. So if you spend 80 million quid on a striker, the likelihood is that player, because they're that good, will want to play in the Champions League anyway. So this is why selling Watkins for me would be a massive risk. If again Villa aren't planning to do that. So good.
I just don't. Nobody will pay the price that Villa want, so it's no deal. Arsenal, obviously we're linked with him, and they've got Gyökeres now, so that's not going to happen. Could he go to Chelsea if Jackson was to leave? Yeah, maybe. Could he go to Newcastle if Isak was to leave? Yeah, maybe. But
I think Newcastle would sniff around a certain price point, and Villa would just say no. But
I think most clubs would probably want to offer because of his age, despite his proven experience, and he will get you a certain amount of goals and assists as well.
Yeah.
The clubs would probably be willing to pay about 40 for him, I think, for his age. But I think Villa would want at least 60.
No, 70. And again, like those, which equals not for sale because teams aren't paying that. So that's it.
That's it for all the questions, John. You said earlier when we first started about some questions for Americans. So should we do that now and go through them? I can help you.
I'll just blast through them if that's all right. So, and this is only where are we? Halfway through the tour. So I will probably have more as we go. In my notes, USA surprises.
Oh, okay. I'm all for this. This should be its own episode.
Toilets.
Right.
When you go to the toilet in the USA, there's already like stagnant water halfway through the bowl, if that makes sense. Have you been to America before?
Yeah, it was a good few years ago.
Right.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, like the toilets, like the bowl is already like pretty much full of water.
Yeah, so I remember 2 years ago, I thought, oh no, they're gonna have to get a plumber out because it's already like it's So now I remember. Yeah, I remember. Oh, it's like this, and why? Does it flush more because there's more water, more power? I don't know.
Maybe it must be a cleanliness thing. It must be like if there's more water in there, it's easier to clean it or something, or it cleans itself because there's water in there. It doesn't get stained or something. This is pretty grim, isn't it?
Yeah. So next one, injury lawyer adverts everywhere. So on the motorway or highway, every like the kind of big billboards. If it's not McDonald's, it's my name's Jeff Stevens, and I'll help you out if you fall over. That sort of thing.
Okay. Like switching about the burns on your arm.
Yeah. But
it didn't work.
Yeah, like I stubbed my toe and I'll, see you in court sort of thing. Trucks, they're everywhere. They're massive. They make loud noises, but why trucks? And I was also listening to a podcast where it's like a thing where when you grow up, it's like go uni, get a job, buy a house. Over here, it's like surely buy a truck is the first thing, but why? Why do you need it? I see a lot of them going, but what have they got in there?
Like a pickup truck kind of thing, not like a big like delivery.
Not a lorry. And then fourth one is adverts on the TV when they're selling pills and medicines. It's like all jolly pictures, and then it will start saying like, but this could also cause death, and it could cause you to think about X, Y, Z, and it goes really morbid. But in the background, they're playing bowling or they're going for drinks, and it's like all happy times. And then it ends with like, so yeah, get your pill now, and pop one twice a day, but you could also get these terrible side effects. Like I know why they say it, but in England we don't have that.
No, true.
So those are my 4 questions. The list will grow.
Oh, please do. Get it growing, mate. That's probably my favourite part of the show. If any Americans are listening all the way to the end and can answer any of those 4 questions and help John out, that would be
some of them make sense, but like I get why they would, but
the
toilet bowl thing.
The toilet thing is yeah.
And also,
I could like a proper explanation to that.
In England, we don't tell people the side effects of, the serious side effects of taking something.
We don't have, as far as I can think of, advertisements on TV for medication, apart from like Gaviscon.
But that's my point, though. It's like, oh, I got back pain, let me rub this thing on, but it could also like your kidney could fall off. That doesn't make sense. Your leg, your kidney failure or something, which isn't a laughing matter, but like more just really morbid things that you think, like, how would that even happen?
Right, okay, that'll do. What a lovely end to this podcast. If anyone has the answers to those questions, do get involved in the comments. We hope you enjoyed this episode. I always like the Q&A for its variety, but some really good chat in there, as well as some silly stuff as well. 2 more games out in the US. That's 2 more vlogs. That's 2 more walk and talks, and a couple of other podcasts like this as well. So if you're enjoying the episodes, then do let us know. John, thanks for joining me. Keep safe, keep doing what you're doing, and we'll catch up again in a couple of days. Hopefully you've enjoyed this podcast with the side effects that your head may have fallen off halfway through this episode. Good fun. Thanks everybody for watching along or listening to this episode of Claret Blue, and we'll see you again in a couple of days.